Dave Godfrey is?
Yeah, Legislator Godfrey, I think, is joining us tonight, but he's not here yet.
Bruce just came in. Thank God.
Okay,
Bruce just came in, but that's all I've seen.
Okay.
do we have the pre-registration? Eric, do you have the, Eric?
Yes.
Is there anybody who wishes to speak tonight, you know?
She's on the list, and she's on the list, but she's debating whether or not.
Okay,
I'll bring that sheet right in.
okay, great. And Eric, when they get up to speak, and then we'll sanitize the.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, public input, Giuliano.
Well, I actually thought tonight was a public hearing, so I missed that. But I would like to ask a question. So I'm going to say that the public hearing for Wheatfield Crossing, is that the subdivision that's between Shawnee, Slosaric, and Town Line?
Yes, it is.
As the planning board is looking at that, I really think it's important to point out that at the top of the hill where that comes out, it's a very, very bad spot. You know that Shawnee carries a lot of traffic, and so when they're designing that, they, really need to be cognizant of where that comes out. Additionally, just from the physical attributes of the street, in the winter, that area, for whatever reason, is just prone to get a lot of snow and is very slippery. So whatever input you can share with the designer, engineer, architect, it's really could be a recipe for disaster if that entrance to the subdivision isn't placed appropriately.
Are you going to attend the public hearing, Julie?
Yeah, I guess if I don't have anything else, but I just wanted to, maybe put that on your radar. I don't know when the planning board's meeting again.
That's DOT road, and I'm sure they're gonna review that. I agree with you, it is bad being on a hill, but that's their road, and they'll certainly go to DOT.
Okay. And especially the snow, like for whatever reason, that,
It's always
you
been a
probably go
bad
up and
area.
down it. It's just like, even no matter how much they ice, or I mean salt. And then, the second thing I wanted to ask, this was a couple weeks ago, I saw that, the town is leasing some space or something like that from the Lions Club. What was that about? There's some like recreational space? It was a few meetings ago.
Yeah, okay.
Basically, the Lions Club lets the town use certain functions
Yeah.
of their property, and then we just borrow from them in the wintertime for their access to it.
Oh, so it's just town? Okay, 'cause I
It's
thought
just
like,
an agreement with the Lions Club.
We have to have a legal agreement, because we don't stop doing something illegal.
oh, all right, 'cause I thought we didn't really need any extra recreational space.
Yeah, that's an agreement. There's been, historically, for many years, there's been a sort of a recreational lease agreement, it's what it's been called. It sort of needed to be updated. I mean, it had been in effect for years, so we sort of updated it, did a few changes, but, as Paul says, we do some mowing there and some snow plowing on the condition that they do things for the town, or we have an opportunity to use
Yeah,
it.
I just thought like, I read it more that we were like leasing, like, let's say the tennis courts, or leasing recreational space when we're not using ours this year. That's all I just wondered.
Yeah, the Legion has the baseball diamond and the tennis courts, but a lot of times they'll park at the Lions Club parking lot to use those facilities.
Yeah, I get it. I don't have an issue
Okay.
with it. I was just confused about it, that's all. Okay, that's all I wanted. Thank you.
Good to see you, by the way. Young lady, would you like to speak? And did you pre-register?
Oh, I'm sorry, Jessica Corum. So, I just actually, I'll be brief. I just want to concur with Ms. Otto's remarks about the Shawnee Road traffic for proposed subdivision. I just found out that
Can you raise
might.
the microphone up
Oh.
just a little bit, because you have a mask on, it's difficult to hear you. Just raise that up a little bit, please.
Okay.
There you go, thank you.
So I just wanted to concur with her remarks about the traffic concerns. I'm a Shawnee Road resident now, and, obviously, I know I have a hard time making a left, let alone, with cars going in and out of yet another subdivision. So obviously I'd have a concern about whatever traffic control devices could be implemented on Shawnee Road, especially if you have a new subdivision up there. I imagine there's going to be a lot of residents, probably children, who knows, that might want to go to Dollar General for an ice cream. They're going to be walking along Shawnee Road, so whatever we could do to make that safer would be much appreciated.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And you're a resident on Shawnee Road?
I am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Eric. For the record, all board members are, whoops, sorry about that. All board members are present. Approval of the minutes, July 6th, 2020. I have a motion. And second, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion
Abstain.
carried. Bill payment of July 20th, 2020. Voucher number 2020115 through 202-01262 with a total amount of $684,963.29. Have a motion, please?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Bills are paid. Paul Sigmund, Highway Department. If you don't mind, Paul, that way everybody can hear. It's tough when you have a mask on.
Just quick. We have gotten most of our, I shouldn't say most, probably about 2/3 of our road work done, and one of our reasons for doing this was CHIPS is paid out in 4 separate allowances. We missed the first one, but we wanted to be in by the second one in case they decide to cut some of that. We don't know if you already got it spent, if they're going to come back and ask for it. We were told no, so we wanted to get in on that, try to get it taken care of. So I know that's part of the 600-something thousand. I think there's probably 150 or 200,000 just in that. You'll be getting reimbursed, I think, about 123,000 with the CHIPS funding. Otherwise, we got a few roads left to pave yet, and we're starting to work on more drainage and patching now.
Great. Doing a great job, Paul. Thank you.
Paul, thanks for following up on Williams Road and making sure the state's going to kill all the grass growing around the sidewalks and the curbing.
I can't make them do it, but I can ask them to do it. And I just like to make one note. I should have said while I was up there. Walmore Road, they're rebuilding it. And I was at the meeting when I complained to the county about not opening up that drainage way that goes to the air base. Well, they sent me an email today or yesterday that they have an issue now because all the water's draining back towards Walmore Road. I mean, it's one of the things where we're warned about it 2 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
About it. They don't want to listen, so now they're going to try to get, I believe, the NFPA to try to open that up and make it flow the right way.
Okay.
And Randy knows there's a lot of water that's through there.
All right, thank you, Paul. And just so everybody's aware, I talked to all the department heads today, and if they had nothing on the agenda, not to come in for occupant load anyway. And we didn't have many registrations anyway, so it worked out well. Building Inspector Mike Clark is on vacation today, and I told the other department heads that they did not have to come in. Constable report, anything tonight, guys? Bob? We can talk about it later. Okay, at the executive session, sure. Okay, seniors are not here, and Tim Zuber also was told he didn't have to come. Again, this was going to be a bill pay meeting, but we do have to go into executive session tonight on a personnel issue. Board members, Larry Hellwig.
I got a few things. Since last Thursday, we switched over the town's analog lines, which do security cameras, security modems, fax lines, and highway department, theirs are working fine. Water sewer, theirs are working fine, but the town hall campus with the community center, the teen center, we had to switch. CenturyLink is a Dallas or Texas-based company, and they are basically, I think, pulling out of New York State. So we had to switch over to a new carrier, and I bid it. I had like 4 or 5 different companies tell us they could do it or they couldn't do it. We got the cheapest price, and I don't know if the cheapest is the bestest, but Spectrum was our lowest bid price. We have them, but last Thursday, all the fax machines, and now Mike Vernali was complaining that the community center and the teen center is alarms, the panels were beeping. So I told him he had to call, call Spectrum. He tried twice, couldn't get a hold of him. He tried throwing it back at me. I said, no, you guys are on site. Call Spectrum and tell them they have. So they couldn't get a hold of Spectrum, so then they called Chris from DBA Communications. He's the guy that maintained our old phone system. And Chris came in and says, no, it's a Spectrum problem. Call Spectrum. So they called Spectrum on Friday, but it still broke today. And they're saying they won't possibly be into, they said Monday or Tuesday they'd be here, but it still broke today, so it didn't happen on Monday. So we'll see if anything happens tomorrow, but, I don't know, it's gonna be like 6 days or 7 days without fax service, without security. That's that situation. Now I got a call from Albany today on the retirement system. Matt, I know you answered my question before I had my surgery 3 weeks ago, but I just wanna verify before I implement it tomorrow. They need somebody to do the retirement billing security role. And I think you mentioned Mary Beth and maybe Kelly as a backup.
I think it was changed to, Kelly, yes.
So we'll be doing Kelly as the main and Mary Beth as the backup?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I don't know if that's what it is right now, but,
Right now, there isn't anybody assigned, but they're putting in a new system. And, right now, we don't have anybody in the billing. I think this goes for like when they pay the New York State retirement out of our paychecks and stuff like that.
Right.
They have to be able to communicate and get that stuff back to Albany.
I think primarily it should be Kelly and then Mary Beth as a backup.
Okay.
All right, Larry, what else you got?
That's all I have.
Okay, Gil Doucette.
Just, real quick, I think we should give the ladies of the garden club a special thank you. You come here, you cut back on the recreation house and everything. You come here, you take a look at the, this building, community center, teen center. Flowers are beautiful, they're weeded. I seen them ladies, one day last week from the town out there
Yeah.
really super good job they do.
You know, that's a good point, because they do a fantastic job. And I asked Mary tonight if there was an extra, rain barrel or compost bin to donate to the garden club. So maybe we'll follow up with a letter and donate that to them, for all their hard effort. And I know last year they raffled one off. Yes, Julie?
Yeah, I'm in the garden club, and I was just gonna say, like, when we were having our regular meetings before all of the pandemic hit, we did have like monthly raffles, like where we just kind of raised money to pay for speakers and different things like that. So, I mean, I don't know if there's anybody else here from the garden club, but I can say without a doubt it would be greatly appreciated, and,
Absolutely, and you know, Julie, if you would relate to the other ladies that are involved, you know, I've seen them out there in the hot, hot sun working, and I'll tell you, I've had so many comments about our garden club and what a great job they do. And I'll try and get a memo out, but we'll try and get, if there's any, we're passing out the rain barrels. The ones that are here now are extras, people that have ordered them. Some are not showing. So what I'd like to do, if we have a rain barrel and a compost bin, we'll donate it to the garden club, and you can, just our way of saying thank you.
oh, that would be great.
Okay.
And we also, in addition to what you already mentioned, all the signs, on the entrances, so there's one at Noco on the boulevard, and William, Nash, Rui and Ward, and, River Road as well. And, this year we knew that Mike Rinaldi was short, so we're, taking our trimmers out and, trimming underneath them as well. So, just trying to pitch in.
You guys do a great job, you really do. And
It's
it's so noticeable. I mean, it's not something that I've had so many compliments. And I tell them I do it, but I think they know better. So,
You got a green thumb there, Don.
thank you, Julie. Okay, we've got Kurt Doctor. Okay, Kurt. Randy Retzlaff. And Don McSwan. Just a couple things tonight. We haven't gone to motions yet. We'll go to them next, Matt, while we're doing this. I did have several discussions with the Department of Transportation related to the Niagara Falls Boulevard and Ward and Whitmer Road. And I spoke with Sanjat. I can't pronounce her last name. And I also got a call today. We have a conference call the 6th, I believe, Matt, at 10 o'clock.
Yes, Thursday.
With DOT with an update on the improvements on the Boulevard and Ward and Whitmer. Right now, they're looking at a release date of 2022, which is not what we want to hear. But in addition, we have requested in writing, I think everybody knows this, that they put in turn signals, and which could benefit a lot of people if they had advanced turn signals and signage. And I talked to a gentleman today from DOT, and it's at Traffic Now, and they're hoping on an interim measure to have turn signals at each light. So that would benefit at least to have an advanced green so somebody could go. I'll know more August 6th, but Matt and I will have a teleconference with DOT on the 6th. Today we purchased 3 misters, which are used for sanitizing all of our offices, our structures here. And we have one for the recreation department, one for the community center, and one for here. Dobmeyer come in, we had somebody from all the departments training us how to use the equipment, and we can spray these chairs down, which were done this afternoon, and it kills the COVID-19 virus in 5 minutes. It actually kills it in 3 minutes, but under CDC guidelines, you have to say 5 for whatever reason. So we're happy to have that, and everybody has been trained how to use it, and we'll be using it, especially when court opens up. These rooms will be sanitized in the morning and again at night. So hopefully everybody will feel a little more comfortable knowing that these rooms will be sprayed. Great stuff. Let me see what else we got. The path at Fairmont Park is being paved. It's almost half done. I went over and looked at it today, and they did a full 2 inches. And in some areas, like in the front, they actually went up 3 inches where there was a real low spot there. Looks really nice. If anybody gets a chance, take a look at it. It just so happened while I was there today, a little boy on a tricycle goes right down the fresh pavement, or right the fresh blacktop, and of course they had to ask him to get off it. And let's see what else we got here. Okay, I think that'll do it. Matt, if we go into motions, please.
No, Don, I forgot one thing.
Yeah.
I had a call from Winston Moeller last week and recovering, but he wanted to know about street lights on Shawnee Road and Forest Parkway and Town Line and Forest Parkway, and I thought we had a board motion to do that, but it may have been like 4, 5, 6 months ago.
I brought it up a long time ago.
I know Julie's brought it up to us, and I'm certain we did it, but I wasn't allowed to drive until this past week, but
Didn't we get a response back, though, that when they did the LED conversions, that they were going to take care of it then?
I
Wasn't
don't
that?
remember the response.
Okay. Would you, and let me know, Kurt?
Forest Parkway and Shawnee, Forest Parkway and
Right.
Town Line.
Yeah, that's been months ago.
It's still not done, but, and I told them I thought we had a motion, but I couldn't find.
Yeah, we did.
And the town line side is way worse because
Yeah.
it doesn't have like the little
It
bit
sets
of,
way
like,
back in, it's
Right.
dark.
entrance. The Shawnee side is not great,
Yeah.
but it's got like those trees with the uplighting, so there is a little bit of something, and there's matting. But, the town line side is really dark.
And I had one other question. I don't know whether we're gonna do it, because we just got the notice today in our email about Adams Fire Company wanting access.
I'd rather, if we could discuss that, and then we can put it to a motion at our next meeting if
Next
we
meeting?
decide.
Okay. Because they only gave us one bid. I don't know, and it's quite expensive. Were they gonna be able to get some additional bids?
I don't know. I just got that price today.
Okay.
I called Pete Chase this morning, and I said, I need your bids, and that's the only one that they got. Because I guess it's like a sole provider. Whoever does these emergency lights at intersections is the only one that does it. So
Oh, okay.
let's talk about it, and if we feel that we have to award it, we can do it at our next meeting. Is that okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Matt, motions, please.
Yes, the first motion from Water and Sewer, be it resolved to authorize a correction to a water and sewer bill to Woodlands Realty Group, account number 007035-000, which is erroneous in the amount of $2,645.50 to the correct amount of $23.45.
So moved. Motion second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Next motion from Highway Department and the Budget Department. Motion, be it resolved to approve an amendment to the 2020 Highway Fund budget to provide the estimated revenue and budget appropriation for the increase in the New York State CHIPS PAVE New York grant to be used for additional highway street repairs as follows, and that's as listed on the motion sheet.
A motion and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Again, a motion from Highway and Budget Department, be it resolved to approve an amendment to the 2020 Highway Fund budget to provide the estimated revenue and budget appropriation for the New York State CHIPS Extreme Winter Recovery Grant to be used for additional highway street repairs as follows, and that's listed in the motion package.
A motion, please. Motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And then the final motion from the Constable Department, a
Matt,
mo-
can I stop you? Excuse me.
yes.
I just, I started to talk to the gentleman briefly before the meeting. We do not have a female constable, and we've been trying to find one. And as you know, we are short 5 constables right now. We have Roger, who has gone into some other ventures. We don't know if he'll be back. We have Mr. Wagner, who got a full-time job with the police department, I believe in Concord, New York. Mr. Schrader is off with surgery to his shoulder. Corey Baskerville was rejected because he didn't meet the requirements to be a constable. And there's another fellow that's in school. Weber. Is in school to become a fireman in the Carolinas. This young lady, I haven't interviewed her, I know Eric and Bob have, is a licensed security guard, which doesn't meet the requirements as a constable, but we could do her just like we did Aaron Binner, bring her on as in a training mode until she does receive the proper training. When we go into executive session, we can discuss the training and some things that the constables want to talk to us about on the personnel issue. But that's essentially what she is, and if you feel comfortable with it, then we'll put it to a motion. If you want to table it, we can do that to another time. But we are short of constables right now, and this young lady is able to work during the day, which is a problem, as you know, getting people to work during the day. Anything you guys want to add at this time, or?
The fact that I know her father personally, I worked in law enforcement, been around law enforcement. Currently works at Carver University in security, and she was scheduled to take the law enforcement academy that got canceled due to COVID.
Right.
So yeah, I believe she's loyal also.
Okay. You want to put it to a motion tonight, fellas, or not?
If she's in training, does she get a training rate? Or you expect an constable rate for her?
I believe it's a training rate, but I'm not sure what they did with Shannon.
I think we did Mr. Binner at a basic rate, the lowest salary possible, until they did receive the proper training to become a constable, to graduate from the police academy. And once Mr. Binner finished his academy, then he was given the whatever the scale is for the constable. But it would be a training rate. And again, she is a security guard, but I think everybody realizes that when we do open up the community center and the youth center, we're going to have contact tracing at all of our facilities. And I don't want to spread it too thin with the constables that we have now. Like I said, we're short 5. So I'm trying to be a little bit cautious here, and I'm also like to have this young lady train so that when the time does come, that she is comfortable in the position to be able to do contact tracing. It's something we have to do, and it's something that's going to be with us for quite some time. So I'll make the motion. If you want to second it, that's fine. Motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
And there are no further motions.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session to discuss 2 personnel matters. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't. Did you register, Jesse? Jesse, did you register?
Sorry?
Did you register for the meeting?
No, I just,
Okay.
you know, yeah, they
No,
they
no,
were,
only
they
reason
were frisking me out
I
there.
didn't know you wanted to speak, Jesse. If you
Oh,
have,
no, that's okay. You usually give me the floor or Legislator Godfrey for a minute, so I just didn't know if you
okay. Would you do me a favor?
recognized me
Pull the
back there.
microphone closer to your.
Okay, so I just have a couple of updates from the
Okay.
county. Number one, our COVID numbers have been low at our lowest point since the beginning of this back in March, and we have 0 people in the hospital. So that's a good thing. We're on a downward trend in the county, so I think that's a very good thing. We don't have a monthly meeting in July. I just want to remind everybody that we have daily updates on Spectrum and also LCTV from Legislator Whittish. She does a COVID update daily. So I just want to remind everybody to pay attention to that. But again, the numbers are definitely moving in the right direction. Our senior dinners that you guys allowed us to do, I want to say thank you again for that. That was a huge success. We ended that in June when we got into phase 3, and worked out really, really well for the seniors. And I want to thank you again for allowing us to set up here for that.
Jesse, I want to thank you because we had so many comments and compliments about the dinners. People just loved it, and they want to know why we ended it, but obviously, you know,
Yeah, it's sort of a
some things
bittersweet
have to come
thing.
to an end.
I appreciate it, and it was my pleasure. And
Yeah.
kind of miss doing it, but we're trying to move forward and get open up here. So, I also, it's funny you mentioned about the Ward Road thing here, the Ward Road issue here. Spectrum News, I don't know if you guys caught that or not. They interviewed me about a month ago in regards to that, and I reached out to the regional director from the Department of Transportation, and you know, he assured me that they would start the project in 2021. The funding's been in place, and they were working on getting title searches, and they were looking at purchasing some right-of-ways and properties and things like that, which takes a lot of
Jesse,
time.
can I interrupt just for a second? And what kind of irks me with DOT, all these properties that had to be purchased could have been done years ago when they closed them.
Correct.
DOT, as far as I'm concerned, has been dragging their feet on this, and I let them know that the other day. This restaurant over here, they met with this gentleman the other day. They could have done that 2 years ago. And it just
Oh yeah,
frustrates me.
it's
We've
been
trying to
closed
get
longer
this-
than 2
We've
years.
been trying to get this project going. We have written letters, and we have asked them to do something, and it's the same old song and dance. Let's see what
I agree with you. I think it's a lot of lip service, and you know, I just want you to know I'm involved in it as well. And you know, I'm just found out tonight from you that they told you 2022 after they told me on the record that it was going to be 2021. So they did say that when they start to move forward with this thing, that they're going to have public hearings and things like that, which I would assume would take place here. But I'm gonna personally call them again, either later this week or next week, and just get an update. But again, I'm you know, I don't want to hear any more lip service on this thing.
You know,
so.
you're welcome to listen in on our teleconference with DOT August 6th if you'd like.
Sure, I'll write that down. Maybe you can email me the login information and the time and all that
I
stuff.
don't have
or
it
the-
yet, Jesse.
Okay, so that's that. Another thing is, I just found out today that Amazon was looking to build a facility in Grand Island, and we just got the word today that it got denied by the town board. So we're looking to invite them to explore Niagara County. We do have a few projections that we want to present to them. I've been working with Mike Cassell and Andrea from the Economic Development Commission, and we feel that we have some good possibilities here in Niagara County. So over the next couple of days, we're going to reach out to the developers and invite them to explore this area. I think that is about it. I just noticed that the helicopter is back here, and since our last meeting it was not. So I'd like to get an update on that, and I've been trying to stay on top of that there. So.
Well, the helicopter was, as you know, restored by our local veterans group. And they had it in storage in North Tonawanda until a few weeks ago. It was brought back here, and if you notice, the Highway Department, thank you, Paul, again, has prepared the site for the concrete. And if you notice on the right-hand side, it's a little bit deeper, the hole, because the tank will take more concrete, more reinforcement. We're hoping to have that in place by Labor Day and have the helicopter in place. We have hoping to have a ceremony then. And they brought the rotors over the weekend, and also they're getting ready to put the transmission and rotor back on, correct, Paul? Yeah, so. Yeah. So that's kind of where it is, and if you'll notice the number on there, 82, and I always tell everybody this, My son wrote a book about my Vietnam experience, and when I was wounded in Vietnam, the helicopter that I went into the hospital ship on was Dust Off 82. And they did that for me when they asked me to be here when that helicopter was delivered. I had no idea they had Dust Off 82 on the doors and on the nose. And
Very
when
neat.
it came around the corner here, I saw 82 on the door and on the nose. I couldn't speak.
Huh.
And they did that as a tribute to me, in which I
Oh,
was
that's
greatly
great.
appreciative
Yeah.
of our veterans group. But if you look on the cover of my book, you'll see Dust Off 82. So every time I see that, it brings back some old memories.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, I'm glad to hear the updates on that. I was able to help out with a little bit of funding with that last year. I don't know if how the funding is moving forward on this thing, but if there's anything I can do or anything that the county can do with that project.
Money,
I'd like
money,
to-
money. Whatever you can do.
Okay.
I know we've applied for a Veterans Memorial grant,
Okay.
and so far we're doing okay. We think that we'll have enough to get the concrete poured. And if anybody's seen the pattern, it's like a walkway pattern. It's beautiful. It looks like almost a stone pattern. Looks very nice.
Good.
So
Good job on
I
that.
would love to see it in place by Labor Day, but you know, COVID-19 has kind of put everything back.
Yeah.
But you know, you're more than welcome to come out and see the veterans out here. They have stencils ordered to put U.S. Army on the tail, and they've been working on it.
Very good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, that's all I got. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Good to see you.
Yeah. Same here.
I didn't know you with a haircut. Dave, we're going to go into executive session unless you have something for us.
I left something. I left that topic for Dave to announce. I didn't mention it because I knew you were going to be here. Tell him about our Wi-Fi, Dave. Tell everyone about our Wi-Fi that went in last week. The install. In the parking lot. The wireless. The Meraki units on Town Hall and the wireless that's on the community center. Essentially, our whole back parking lot here has free Wi-Fi, and we were able to do this mainly because of the COVID-19, so that kids in school and college and families that don't have really good Wi-Fi or bandwidth at home can sit in our parking lot. And what speeds did you record when you were back there? How fast was our Wi-Fi? Like 80 meg?
Yeah, that's close to 200.
Yeah.
So it's a very, very high speed. With the two units, you literally can go from one side of this compound all the way to the other, never lose a signal. So they're tied together. So you're easily gonna cover, well, it goes out 300-400 yards, or feet rather. So you're probably gonna cover literally everybody that's in the park.
Just so the constables know, if you see people parking back there, they're not parking, they're probably on our Wi-Fi. We haven't made an announcement yet, because we didn't know when it was gonna be installed.
You do want it on your on your website, your Facebook page, or wherever you wanna put it. Eventually, we got one going up tomorrow at the county building in Orleans, and one at Holly after that's done. We'll probably come out with another press release to list everything, the exact location. So, but it's nice we're able to get two units here here in Wheatfield, because we had certainly the parking area, we accommodated an awful lot of vehicles.
Yeah.
And also I've alerted our sheriff's department, our highway department, and a lot of times those folks are out there, I know the sheriff's cars are well equipped, but there's times they gotta do something, you know, personal business, and especially your highway people, can pull in there at any one of those locations and have that, high-speed internet right there, so. It was good. 3 more to go between here and Orleans County.
Thank you,
David,
Dave.
Again, I'll make that motion to executive session on 2 personnel issues.
I'll second.
Okay, motion second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Who's
Opposed?
joining us in the executive?
I'm sorry?
Who's gonna join us?
The constables first, and then we'll toss them out, and we'll have Paul in on the second. Okay? Thank you for coming, folks. Julie, good to see you again. Oh. Oh, no, we did it officially. Okay, second. Okay, motion is second. All in favor signify by saying aye. We are now out of executive session. And Matt, do you want to read the motion for the training? kind of on the fly, we might have to tweak it. Second?
If you could just take out the one session, 'cause it's multiple sessions, just so you know. One academy. I just don't want it to read wrong and someone pick it apart.
Okay. Okay. Motion and a second, all in favor signify by saying aye. Or no, you made the motion, I second it? All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Richard, if I could
Motion,
say one more thing.
too late.
Sorry.
Go ahead, what's that there?
The female that we are putting through would normally cost the town $600. She will not be charged for this academy if we do it here. So that will
Okay,
save
great.
that money as well.
Okay. Erica, you're gonna bring her on and train her now, though?
She's gonna come in Wednesday and Thursday and train on the desk with the officer that's working.
Okay, the other thing is, I know she doesn't have a uniform, but she does have khakis, et cetera.
Uniform.
We won't uniform her until she does, okay.
I don't want to uniform anybody until they graduate
Yeah,
the academy.
sounds good.